I am not going to get a massive amount of time to make videos today, I don't think, because we've got 4 children and 4 adults, which should be enough, but one of those children is Jasper, so it probably won't be enough. It'll be all hands on deck all day long. And then we're going to drive home. We were going to go tomorrow morning, but we've decided, I think what we'll probably do is go tonight at about 9, 10 o'clock or something, because then the roads will be empty and the whole drive will be so much more pleasant and easy. Fingers crossed. What that does mean, however, is I am not going to have the power to go any significant distance after we leave, because we're about to go to a park now, which means that I'm going to be taking the car away from the super slow charging, and instead of putting miles in, take miles out. What was that?
I want to play Minecraft.
We're going in a minute.
But Rosie's playing Minecraft.
Wall plugs. God, they're so. I tell you what, all new build houses should absolutely 100% have a 7 kilowatt charger installed, I've decided, because it will make my life much easier when visiting friends. It's just kind of required, and I still don't have the proper answer for people that don't have off-street parking. I mean, the only thing I can think of is if every petrol station had a quick charger, say an Instavolt, then, you know, you could go to Tesco's, the petrol station, which would be like the quick charge station, so you plug in there, you zap your car for half an hour, you go get your shopping, you come back, job done. You have a full car and full bags of shopping. Other than that, the no off-street parking thing is really difficult. It's easier, I think, if you're in a big city like London, because you might only need to fully charge the car once in a week. But the problem with being in the countryside with no off-street parking is you probably are still going to do a sort of 30, 40, 50 miles a day kind of range, which means that you'd have to quick charge your car every couple of days, which you don't need to go and do food shopping every couple of days. That's not going to work. There's going to need to be other solutions found. And I mean, I was speaking to a Model X owner yesterday, actually, who was saying that he lives in an apartment and he's got a parking space, but to get the cable to the parking space for the charger, it crosses a bit of council land, and the council's being a bit of a pain. That is something which I think just has to be a 100% blanket. You have a right to put in a cable if you need to. Certainly over council-owned land anyway, because otherwise I don't see how any real progress can be made. I mean, you know what councils are like. They're bureaucratic nightmares. Just, you know, these are utilities. These are things that have to be put into the ground if we are going to move away from fossil cars, which is what everyone says we need to do. I'm going to go get his phone, and then we're going off to this park thing, and we'll pick this up again. I swear to God, I'm going to try and get to Instavolt. I really am. Yeah, you see, basically the thing with Instavolt is they're putting in some new high power chargers, which will be great for cars like the I-Pace. And now my wife is calling me too. This is just never ending. Imagine a road half as wide as that. I have just had a shocking experience. Luckily the car is still in one piece, I hope, but oh my word. I need some strong pharmaceuticals or something, clearly. And small roads and Teslas do not mix under any circumstances. We're going to go have a walk now, I think. I'm going to have a coffee. Oh yes. Because I'm having to watch Jasper on the skate park and also make sure Soph doesn't get lost and stuff like that, I'm going to just cheat like crazy and not bother remembering what I'm reading here. So let me get the details up here. So Instavolt are deploying their next generation charge points, ultra rapid electric car charging points. That's what they're calling them anyway. So initially these Express 250 chargers are going to have a power of 125 kilowatts if the battery can take it. And okay, so most of the ones they do at the moment are 50 kilowatts, and the ones that I've seen anyway have been at I think it was a Shell petrol station where I found one, and it worked brilliantly. And the great thing about Instavolt is it's totally, there's no kind of network, no RFID cards, none of that nonsense. You just turn up, tap to pay, and I can't remember exactly how much it was. It was obviously a lot more expensive than the electricity from home, but you know, that's fine. You're using a quick charger. You don't have to do that all the time, hopefully. So it was a really great experience. The high power chargers are primarily for the newer electric vehicles, the ones that use CCS and can accept a high charge rate. So for example, the Mercedes-Benz EQC, the I-Pace, the Audi e-tron, and they charge at 110 kilowatts for the EQC, 100 kilowatts for the I-Pace, and 150 for the e-tron. If they're in the right places, these things are going to be brilliant for those drivers, because they are not properly served by the Ecotricity charging network on motorways at the moment, principally because the CCS is rarely working from what I can gather. I really feel like Instavolt are actually making a difference, because you hear these announcements all the time where people are saying, oh, we're going to install this, we're going to do that, we're going to do this, and it's one of these classic talk is cheap things. Everyone is going to do something amazing, and yet the second you actually want to charge your car, they go, oh, we haven't got there yet. So these Instavolt chargers are going to be rolled out over the next few weeks, months, probably I would imagine more months. I would expect, you know, they'll start to hopefully be a useful number of them by the beginning of next year, but we'll see. If you want to know more about Instavolt or what chargers are available in your area, I highly recommend ZapMap. And there's a website, or you can use the app on your phone. It's brilliant. It shows you all the different chargers. You've got a filter, so you can say, I don't want a specific network, or I only want to see the ones which are tap to pay, you know, contactless payment. ZapMap. That is your friend when looking for chargers. Speaking of which, I haven't actually looked for a charger in this area, so I probably should do that. Right, okay, well, that's that. We're obviously not going to be using an Instavolt anytime soon on our way home. It will be Superchargers all the way for us. Right, it's now time to head back to our friend's house and pick up our bags, have some supper, and then off home. Okie dokie, this is Supercharger stop number 1. We're going to have a couple of Supercharger stops today, I believe. Oh, it feels good to finally be plugged into a proper speed charger. Okay, that's what we like to see. Right, so we've got to go pick up Soph's car, which is parked at my mum's house, which means we've got a 2 Supercharger stop on the trip home, unfortunately. Normally we could do this journey quite easily with 1 Supercharger stop right in the middle, but we have to take a less direct route. And also it doesn't help that we set off with only 80 odd miles in the battery. Only was 100 miles in the battery, but still that's nothing like what we need, you know, when you're talking about doing, I'm not even sure how far this journey is. I have a feeling it's about 250, 260, something in that ballpark. I haven't really looked into it. I don't really bother planning chargers anymore. That's what Tesla and Superchargers do to you, which I always thought is a shame, because I quite enjoyed planning my trips in my old Nissan Leaf. Mind you, it drove Soph mad, so it's probably for the best. This seems like a good time to call proceedings to an end. So I hope you've enjoyed today's video. If you have, remember to like it, share it, and subscribe if you haven't already, and follow me on Instagram and Twitter if you don't already. Links in the description. And I will see you in the next episode of my vlog. Bye.
Minecraft with her.
Well, why don't you play Minecraft with her? Why don't you just, you don't have to have your phone to do that, do you?
I don't want
I don't have my, it's not in there, Jasper. Right, okay, I've got, you see what I mean? Jasper, shush, stop moaning. Okay, no, definitely not.
Fine.
I was just about to say yes, but you started moaning. That was a bad move.
I'm going to stop moaning.